Good afternoon. Let me get these links out and then we can dive straight in it. Yeah, welcome. Monday officially starts off a brand new week. Let's see what we can get here. Yeah, yesterday wasn't too bad of a day. Caught some decent trades. Um, yeah, let's see if we can continue throughout this week. There we go. Bam, bam, bam. We'll let a few people get in. Let me pull this out. I need a separate chart. View. Da, 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 da. Yeah. And we'll have this one. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, so we'll go through a market update in this live just shortly. We'll let a couple of people to join. But yeah, saw a decent dump straight back into structure, right? So yeah, we came up, tested, failed to break through this previous high over here. Now building up some structure. Now the next area of resistance is all the way back here at this previous high. So it could be the case that structure that we build up here is maybe potential cup and handle in case we get an accumulation sort of scenario being built here, a bull flag, and then fingers crossed. I know we've been saying this, obviously one last pump, but I mean things are weakening. Again, still very, 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 very overextended. 30% from this low to this top. So it could be a case that we come up, test this level here, breach, and then come back down much heavier. Obviously this week we've got a decent amount of data. We have sent out obviously what's to be expected this week in the economic calendar section to the Discord channel. So yeah, make sure to go and check that out if you're wanting to keep on top of the data points. But today, is it today? Yeah, today. So US holiday today. So you're not going to get too much volume as you are seeing here. Okay, obviously New York Open is going on. US holiday, Eurogroup meeting, so that might be a little bit important. See what's happening on the European side of things. Obviously, there's quite a lot of European data to come out this week. So that will kind of set the scene. Okay, China GDP, China unemployment. Obviously, China's reopened. I mean, COVID cases have absolutely soared. They're continuing with what happened during the pandemic in terms of coming out with false figures, not reporting correctly. But I mean, it's all over the news. Obviously, COVID has absolutely flown. Yeah, it's impacting their side of things heavily. So that's for today. Tomorrow got UK average earnings, UK unemployment, German CPI, Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Okay, so again, building up on the European side of things. Day after, so Wednesday, UK CPI, PPI, RPI, EU CPI, US PPI. Okay, so that's probably your important day, Wednesday. Okay. Thursday, EU current account and US jobless claims. So another kind of important day there. And then on Friday, German PPI, and we continue through with earnings. Okay, so I think it was last week we got bank earnings. And yeah, it continues over through to this week. Okay, so pretty packed up week in terms of data. So we will get a decent amount of movement. So yeah, let's see how things kind of play out. the way things are currently looking like is that we're going to get some sideways movement potentially. Okay, so obviously this was the structure that we were within. We kind of faked out to the top, right? Faked out, tapped that liquidity just at the top of that previous high, just here. And then obviously kind of created a double top and went straight back into structure. So now we're building up some structure here on the lower time frame. So yeah, let's see how things kind of play out here. Could be the case that we literally do just range. So we kind of got a mini Wyckoff sort of formation coming in on here. Okay, until more data comes out. Is it next? I think next week it's US PCE prices, and then on the 1st of Feb it's CPI or interest rate. I think it's one or the other. Let me have a little look. I think it's interest rate actually. So yeah, markets are essentially going to hold off until then. Now, obviously let me get it up on the 1st of Feb. So we get on the 1st of Feb we get a lot of data, a lot of data. So we get Fed interest rate decision, that's your big one, but we get ISM, manufacturing prices, PMI, jolts, so job openings. We get Euro CPI. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty packed up day. That's on Wednesday, 1st of Feb. Okay, so we still got a little bit of time until then, but that is kind of your important week. Next week, I'm pretty sure it's PCE. So a lot of holidays, so obviously Chinese New Year. So that side of things are going to be very quiet, which I mean is nice for us anyway, because that's bedtime for us. Services PMI from EU. So we get core PPI from the UK. Yeah, GDP from the US, PCE prices. So yeah, next week is also quite a jam-packed week in terms of data from our side of the world. Yeah, let's see what we can get. Right, in terms of TA, let's go over some TA here. Okay, so obviously we went over a potential ranging. As you can see, we're getting another decline in volume as prices kind of move up. So we're starting to get some divergence in price, okay? So the turnaround is going to come, okay? Buyers are weakening on that lower time frame. That's exactly what you want to see now. It's just kind of assessing where and how high we're going to go, especially after how high we've already gone. This is obviously a full retrace, so if you pull your fib from top to bottom, it's a full retrace. So now it's kind of how far we're going to extend. Now this is likely to be the area in which we're looking at, just because we are weakening. Now we just need to start seeing some real supply being dumped, which we're only getting little speckles of right now. Okay, this was a nice move back down and failing to kind of break up, which is indicating that obviously the buyers are weakening. We got a little bit of supply dump there. Also potentially some profit taking as well. Okay, so profit taking and profit taking here. Okay, but yeah, let's see how things kind of play out on the very low time frame. Obviously we got some more of a price compression. Okay, that was your first structure. We're kind of pushed up now. What we could be structuring within is a bear flag and then a continuation back down, maybe towards that 100 moving average. down here towards the bottom of this range. So we should see the altcoins kind of pull back a little bit further, as they've already started to do slightly. Okay, again, the whole market is very overextended. Like I said, 30% increase in the value of Bitcoin since the start of the year. Dollar index, let's go and touch base on that. Okay, yeah, so it came down to that 618. Okay, that extension, bam, and saw a very, very nice reaction back up. Now, one thing to really touch base on is the value of oil is propping up. Okay, and it's only going to continue to push up as China obviously has reopened since the 13th, and kind of starts to pick up. Now, obviously, the COVID issue over in China is still very much going on. Okay, and obviously they've opened up, and it's only going to push and exacerbate obviously the spread of COVID. Now, you get a point in which obviously it peaks. Okay, and that kind of really does come when things have reopened. A lot of people are being infected. Their vaccine mandate isn't exactly fantastic, but obviously people do start building up an immune system to it after they've caught it. Okay, so we should start seeing a peak, things coming down again, which means people are going to be able to go back to work, and again, putting more upward pressure on the value of oil. Okay, and we've seen a nice rebound off here, so we should maybe come down a little bit and then continue back up, breaking through this level here. Okay, yeah, where we will definitely see much higher oil prices, which is going to put a little bit of pressure back up on inflation. So again, could see a different inflation figure than what we've got in the last 3 months come out next month. Okay, risk on assets have obviously flown. Let's have a little look at the Nasdaq weekly chart, seeing a nice rebound. We're still within bearish structure, and I think that's the kind of main point to really gather from this on equities. Okay, we're still within that sequence of lower lows and lower highs, as you can see here, until we break this long-term trend line. Yeah, we're still looking like we could potentially break much lower. Okay, so just bear in mind, keep a close eye on those equity markets. They're going to feed into into the crypto space. Okay, so realistically, until the equities, so if the equities break through this point here, okay, so this 200 moving average on the daily is your important point. Okay, so we're all very close. This has slightly breached it, but we're still within that long term. Bear in mind also of the trap zones, we could get little overextensions as we got over here, tapping into liquidity just past it. Okay, so keep an eye on all of that. Yeah, still moving. So if we do get a turnaround, a deep turnaround, yeah, then we kind of do need to break below and create a new low, which we've kind of failed to do for quite a while now. Obviously, kind of did a double bottom sort of scenario on the lower time frame there, push back up, risk on assets. Obviously, have become a bit more appealing for investors after that third weaker CPI from the US. Talks around bringing down or stepping down the rate hikes, which, I mean, could be a thing. Okay, still waiting on the speech, okay, where we actually talk about those sort of things in the speech that we got last week from Jerome Powell. Didn't really touch light on monetary policy, and that's what we want to really hear. to make obviously decisions moving forward in terms of outlook on markets. What else have we got to touch on? Okay, yeah, so 25 basis points potentially is on the cards, likely on the cards, especially after the third week of CPI figure. Yeah, and then the next talks really are inflation. Where's the Feds? Well, so obviously the Fed's obviously expecting 2 to 3% inflation. That's kind of the target for central banks to keep inflation at. Okay, that's kind of the gold zone. Now, how deeply embedded is inflation? Okay, that's where you get sticky inflation, you get stagflation, and becomes a problem. Okay, it becomes much harder to bring inflation down and get out of it. And essentially, obviously, that's where the Fed is keeping its eyes on, because essentially and ultimately, where inflation is going to determine the base interest rate level. Okay, so yeah, where you're going to see prices really move parabolically to the upside is that first decline in interest rates, right? So bringing interest rates back down from their super high levels that they're currently on. At the moment, obviously, we see weaker CPI, which pushes towards that point, and well, pushes towards firstly the point of decreasing the amount of hikes that the Fed does, and then where's the pause after this? Is how low does inflation need to come, and how has the Fed seen enough signs to the point where they'll be like, okay, now this is time to kind of relax on interest rate hikes. We're just going to watch the reports as they come out, and then kind of leave it at that rate for a period of time until things come back to normal levels. And then the next step really is bringing down interest rates, okay, making credit cheaper to kind of boost investment again. Okay, but yeah, so that's obviously 2023, 2024. This year is going to be interesting in terms of how things kind of play out, really. We had a nice, obviously, very, very, very large push up in prices, and ultimately that comes on the back end of weaker CPI for the third month running. So it is likely that we've seen the peak of inflation. Now it's how quick we can get inflation down to normal levels. Okay, and just bear in mind the normal levels are between 2 and 3%. Okay, but again, it's kind of, we are in a new environment, new world. Is that target going to move? Is it going to be 5%, 4%? Or are they wanting to bring it back to 2 to 3%? Now, obviously, coming out of the pandemic, okay, recessionary talks, and even the definition of a recession got changed, okay, which leads to think that, okay, maybe we might change the targets for base inflation. Could be a thing. Obviously, anything can happen. Especially after the definition of a recession being changed, after having that definition for so long. So yeah, it's one of them. You'll see how things play out. Got to keep a closer eye on, obviously, the news. Uriah Ismail, how you doing, UK? But yeah, so we got Mini Wyckoff. It's just going to range until we start seeing some more of these figures and reports coming out. After its huge push up. I mean, the amount of distribution that's happening, there's a lot of profit taking happening, a lot of switching up orders. So this is going to be a very nice opportunity for institutions to do that in, okay, and take this range to switch up from longs to go shorts, and get the best price for its downturn. Now, obviously, we could be pushing towards this level over here, okay, accumulate, distribute in this zone, see a push up, see a huge dump, and then really start to switch up things, go straight back into straight back into the structure. But yeah, I'm fine, and you? Yes, I'm good, mate. I'm good, mate. Brand new week, yeah, fresh new opportunities. So yeah, let's get it. Um, it's going to be a relatively nice week to trade on. There isn't, I mean, obviously the important data is from the US. We haven't got a great deal of US data coming out. We've got little bits of it, but not huge amounts, which always makes trading nice. Okay, whenever you get obviously a week filled with US data, yeah, the volatility just goes through the roof. So this week is mainly US data, EU data. And then it starts picking up again. So PCE prices next week. And then on the first, so the date that you want on your calendar as the important date is 1st of February. A lot of data, interest rate decision. Obviously, you get your Fed speech, all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that's definitely going to move things about for sure. Ethereum, let's go over Ethereum. Let's have a little look as to what's happening. We're seeing a nice push back down. It is struggling. I mean, still on higher time frames. Still, I mean, huge move, but no volume. There is no volume. Let me get rid of all the drawings on here. But I mean, there is literally no support. Still relatively in. I mean, that push up does kind of change up things a little bit, but yeah, it's see kind of what happens. Getting a little bit of a push up, but still, I'm still expecting a sub 1K Ethereum. But it just puts into perspective in terms of the next move when we do come and potentially test these lows here. And if we do break that there's one last push down. Yeah, one last push down. And then it's fully in accumulation, ready to set itself up for that Fed pivot. And 2024 Bitcoin halving. That's obviously your important dates. Yeah, let's see how things play out. This year is going to be an important year to build up your portfolio. Okay, ready for next year. This is the year to be doing that in. Okay, and building up those long-term investments, ready for that next bull run. So yeah. Right, so going back to the dollar index anyway. Obviously we've got a bounce off that 618 just here. Bottom of that order block. Now there's still levels for it to come down. Okay. So we might not have seen the last of this dollar dump. Okay. It could be the case that we make another push back up. Bit of a deeper push, and then another dump. Okay, there's still some key levels to come down and tap into beneath. For now, obviously, I think we're kind of getting a calling off on the move down. We've moved down heavily. If we take from top to current bottom, I mean that's only a 4% decline, which is huge. So yeah, let's see. We could be moving back into this structure over here. Obviously, these are your levels to kind of look at. If we are able to break and close above these two levels here, we're moving into this next order block, where kind of structure just got absolutely smashed through. Just here. So that's your level to look at if we do go to that point. Yeah. Let's see what we can get. Things are looking pretty promising. Let me just make some updates to current positions. Alright, so anyone that's in here from premium, we are moving our stop losses to break even. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, bear with us. Bear with me, I'll get the screen back up. There we go. Yeah. So moving into break even, we're pushing very nicely into profit. So let me just keep an eye on these. In fact, let's just take profit. And give me 2 seconds because I need to. Come together right now. All right, big up. All right, so we'll take profit there. Very, very, very nice profit. Where is it? Trading view. What do you think about sheep? Give me 2 seconds and I'll have a look for you, mate. I've just got to update a few things, yeah. Edit message. Beautiful. Okay, so very nice, very, very, very nice profits there. Let me get this camera back up and running for you. Oh. We could also. Oh, what's happening now? Camera. Right, beautiful. I'm back. Okay, so what do you think of sheep? All right, let's go and have a little look. Yeah, okay. Let's get some news on as well. Okay, so by the looks of it, obviously it went up to that order block. It's kind of held that level of resistance, kind of coming back down. Could see a little bit of a prop back up, build up on some weaker structure, continue back down. I mean, that's a quite clear double top. It's come down quite nicely to that order block just here. Okay, so it could be the case that we just maybe bounce off here, push back up, and then kind of push back down. But obviously we got one fail, two fails, and that's on the 4 hour as well. So let's have a little look at what we got here. Still bearish structure, still moving within that trend. Let's see if it what we get here. Just go from here. So 0.5 test as well, so that's probably why it's struggled. It's got a few points here. Obviously, this is quite decent level of volume as well. We're seeing a bit of a deeper push, so we could almost, I mean, we came back down, tested that 100 and then really pushed back up. So this one was, that candle there was a very volatile candle, okay, squeezing both sides. So there's still decent amount of pressure on this, but I mean, yeah, the buyers have obviously weakened, sellers are starting to take slight control over it. Breached above 3 times, tapping into liquidity past this point here. So yeah, probably does look like we're going to potentially come test these 2 levels out here. Yeah, things are turning around. That's what's happening. US 30, what about it? All right, let's have a little look. I long at 8.5. Yeah, you're all the way down here. I would probably just cash it in, mate. If you're long here, that's a decent move. Things are starting to turn around, so I probably would cash out. I mean, that's a 20% gain. Yeah, cash that in. That's an insane move. Don't get greedy on that move. That's for a fact. Cash that in. US 30. Let's go. Forex. So that one, yeah, mate, well done. That's a big trade. Very well done. US 30. I mean, it's building up on some very nice. Let me get rid of. It's looking like it's weakening. I mean, slightly overextended as well. It's probably got a little bit more upside. This is some nice structure though. That's a nice bounce. Where are we going to? Tapped in here, tapped in there. Yeah. I'll keep a close eye. Where else could we potentially be going to? It's just not much volume. Obviously, you got US earnings as well, so US earnings are going to influence this this week as well. So could potentially see a little bit of a pushback or continuation, but it is slowing down. So we could. I mean, this order block's kind of been eaten away, so that's your level to look at, really. So potentially test up there, then maybe see a little bit of a deeper pushback down. Yeah, there's probably a little bit more upside for this. A little bit more upside. I mean, also the case of risk-on assets are actually more appealing. That's definitely going to bolster this price movement. We are building on some nice structure. I can't lie, especially obviously we got that lower, that higher low, a higher low. So we're still building on some nice structure here. Kind of got a price compression on the higher time frame. We could pull back from here or push a little bit higher, then pull back. Yeah, could potentially see price compressing and breaking out to go up or breaking down to come down. So yeah, there's going to be a nice move or potential breakout move to capitalize on. So just keep a close eye on it. But yeah, not looking too bad. That was a nice cash out on those trades. So things are up on the upside. How much? Very, very nice profit. 250, 300, 400. Yeah, 600%. Yeah, it's a nice Monday. Yesterday wasn't too bad either. Yeah, I mean, yesterday, so we actually opened some shorts on this compression here. I think it was either on, where was it? Might have been on this move down. And then things started kind of rejected this way and pushed back up. So that was its opportunity to kind of come and test this point here. It failed to do so, so we got in on some longs for this move up. So we might have just capitalized on that, which was nice. And then we flipped it over, caught some shorts, and then just left it till this morning. And then got in on some further shorts where the big profit came in today. So yeah, now it's just kind of wait for a bit of structure to come in. Where's the economic calendar? Yeah, I mean, US is on holiday today, so was it Martin Luther King's holiday? So there isn't going to be much volume. Okay, so it is just going to be a ranging game today. Volume's going to come back in when the US kind of comes back into play. Yeah, so we'll see. It wouldn't even be a bad point just to relax and kind of just get some trades in the pipeline for the next move. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, majority of the market is very, very, very red. Very, very, very red. Yeah, so this week is earnings. So obviously we're sending in trades to the other all other markets channels, so anything other than crypto. So I think we're going to keep an eye on the other market, see if we can capitalize on something this week as well from that side. So yeah, come get involved. It's nice to trade something other than crypto now and then. Especially, I mean, yeah, crypto's just done an absolutely insane move. So, crazy move. Okay, let's go into the TA a little bit deeper on this one. Okay, so in terms of, all right, if we get pullback, where can be expecting prices to kind of move? So let's say this is the current top, okay, and we make a pullback from this point. Okay, so kind of failing to break through, breaking up to this point here. Okay, so we'll be looking, that 382 lines up absolutely beautifully with that 200. Okay, so that's our first point of support that we'll be looking at. Okay, this was your Wyckoff range that we broke out from. Okay, so got 382.5618. Obviously 618 is lining up perfectly with the top of that range, and then we got that 100 moving at the 18k level. This is your high volume area. Okay, if price actually breaches that and comes straight back into the structure here, yeah, you can wish it farewell. That's too much of a move back down. So it could be the case that if we do come down here, see some nice volume propping up again, we make a move up, and go for some new structure, and then see this kind of being tested and then coming back down. If this level fails to hold, we'll come down, test that 0.5. Could be the case that we move back up either to here or to here, then move back down. Or come straight down to that 6.8. Now the sellers are going to come in hot and fast, that's for sure, especially after that huge move. So it just depends on how much selling pressure there is on the way back down. Again, it could be the case that we don't even make that far. We can build up some structure here, hold this level, and then push back up. So there's a few options on the card that we're going to have to keep an eye on, that's for sure. Yeah. So I got a few options and few kind of play outs that could happen. So we'll just move from one to one as price kind of develops, and see what the next option is. Yeah, things kind of change quite rapidly here. So that's your range that you look in. If things come straight back in there, then yeah, it's the next leg down is in play here. But obviously keep those dates in your calendar in terms of PCE prices, and your interest rate decision and the Fed speech. It's going to be obviously the first one in the new year, so it's going to set the scene. That speech is definitely going to set the scene. See a nice bolster. Yeah. Right, so we're going to end the stream there. We're going to see whether we can get some trades in the pipeline, okay, as things kind of range. So we'll play and then to start looking at entering some trades when things are at the bottom and the top, just because it is setting some range. So, yeah, we'll see whether we can get anything throughout the day. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I hope it came of use. I'll get a market update recorded just after this and sent into the premium channel. So yeah, just keep you guys updated for those, especially that haven't or that haven't been able to join us on this live stream. But yeah, we'll see how prices kind of develop into that New York close. So you might see us later on. If not, we'll touch base tomorrow for another live stream as well as market update. But yeah, thank you very much for joining. Yeah, it's been a nice day today, so let's see and let's try and continue it throughout the week. All right, cheers and enjoy the rest of your day.